just watching you in the nets there, good to see you back. Is it good to be hitting balls again?
Yeah, it's nice. It's been some slow progress in terms of increasing the batting load, but now at about 35 minutes, so it's nice to kind of have a proper net. Also come down here at Christchurch, join up with the team and watch a bit of the test and get around the guys as well. It's been good fun.
How's it all feeling?
Definitely improving. I think it's just a subtly bumpy road, I suppose, in terms of progression, because it's always trying to load it, and I guess a balance between that and rest. But it is improving, which is the main thing.
Touring with the Black Caps, I know it's a group of friends travelling around the country, playing cricket, doing what you love doing, but being on the outer with an injury, what's it like? How do you see the game?
It's definitely different. I sort of haven't had sort of this period of time off before, missing, I think it's going to be 5 tests, which cuts a little bit deep from a personal perspective. At the same time, it's still great to see the team progressing, playing some great cricket. And so, yeah, it's nice to be in and around the group. And for me, it's just trying to get my head around, what this period of time looks like and actually trying to utilise it in a positive way, even though it's, very frustrating not to be playing and those sorts of things. So, yeah, it's a balance, it's an experience, but trying to use that time because I know we do have a busy period coming up and, and it's been required as well. It was sort of been bothering me and disrupting me for some time. So, yeah, trying to achieve, I guess, all those little things.
Test matches are so special. I mean, you feel it in the commentary box as well, the build-up to a test and also the end of test victories for New Zealand. What is it that you miss so much about test match cricket?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. There is this appeal, this romance, going out with a group all sort of pulling in the same direction and there's nothing better than sitting in the dressing room after a test win and looking around the group and knowing that your team's really put in for a long period of time for each other. And there is just something that little bit special about it. And as we know, in any sport, you have your mixed results, you have your tough days, you have everything in between. And certainly in Test cricket, that's probably the format out of all of them where you sort of see all of it and you could see it all on one day as well. So, it just, there is something special about it. And I'm sort of from, I suppose, that time where growing up, it was always Test cricket, and that's the thing that you wanted to be, most a part of. And we've seen the evolution of certainly T20 cricket and playing the 3 formats is certainly enjoyable. But I think Test cricket still is, the one that's, it's just got so many elements to it that are special. Yeah.
You're a new dad to Maggie. What's it like now? Your perspective on life and on the game. Has that changed? I know for myself personally, it changed quite a bit.
Yeah, it's incredible, it's something that you can't sort of replicate the feeling any other way than experiencing it yourself and your first child. And, that's been, I suppose, the silver lining is actually I've had a lot of time at home in the last sort of month or two, and that's been with my family, which has been great. Yeah, it's amazing. It does change the way you see things a little bit. And at the moment in our team, there's a lot of guys and, we grew up playing with you old fellas and you guys were the ones with kids. And now, all these guys are growing and they're getting a little bit older and there's a lot of kids in the group, which is really, really cool.
I'm sure you'll be a great dad because, I mean, looking after Southie for so long in the team as well.
Is that how you got so good?
Yeah, I mean, bringing up Southie throughout the environment.
Yeah.
But no, it is great, when all the players are there and they've got all their kids and they're scootering around. I think you remember in Cardiff. So that's a great evolution of the team and bringing family along for the ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when we talk about the evolution of the team, not on that side, but leaders in the team, it's a great opportunity with you out. Ross Taylor now retired, 2 senior players. Is it something that you really help try and grow in the team? Is that breadth of leadership?
When you're involved, even if you're not there, you're still involved to some extent. But, at the same time, there are a number of leaders in the group, and obviously you see that today and throughout, the recent few months, but they're still very much leaders even when, some of the other experienced players that aren't playing are there. So you like to think there's just an extension of how we're operating, and hopefully, that's a reasonable transition. I think we're seeing that, and Tommy's doing a great job, and obviously Tim has been there for a long time and has been a big leader in the group, so, great support network for him, and obviously a number of other players that understand the environment really well. So, yeah, it's been great to see. I'm always in touch with the guys and eager to know how it's all going, and you're still very much invested, but then at the same time you sort of also want to not give some space and just, like I say, for Tommy and his growth and some of the other boys that come into the environment and are learning on the go as well, so striking that balance.
Is there an expectation for players that come into the environment to lead, or does that just happen organically?
Yeah, I think the environment's important to, I think, making guys feel like they belong and they're a part of something, and that leadership mindset, I suppose, happens, I think, kind of organically, and hopefully they're a part of something that they appreciate, they enjoy and care about, and then over time they begin to adopt, and it's certainly not a fixed thing. It's not my way or his way. It's just a real team focus of how we do things, and when you see that adoption, you see some of these guys grow, and from that younger player to that right, they have a voice, and that's always something we encourage, but it sometimes does take time naturally. I mean, it'd be great if it happened straight away, but it does take a bit of time when you do come into a new environment. So it's important. It's an important part of our team, and we are seeing that. There's some guys that have certainly joined the side the last sort of couple of years and been a little bit in and out, but majority are part of the picture, and they're really coming through with some great characteristics and traits that are important to our group.
Is that why we're seeing guys like, I'll put Matt Henry in that bracket, where he's been in and out of the team but comes in, has a great performance. Henry Nichols goes from 5 to 4. Yeah. Even Daryl Mitchell comes into the team and they just feel comfortable.
Yeah, Kyle Jamison and a Tom Blundell, who's been a part of the side, opening the batting, did a fantastic job in a position that wasn't natural to him, to then taking the gloves from a BJ Watling, who's a big part of the side. But all those guys that you mentioned, and Matt Henry is a fantastic team man, and every time he's come in, he's done a fantastic job, and he's a part of a crop of bowlers that we have at the moment that's been a special thing to have, but perhaps meant that he hasn't had as much game time as he would have liked. But at the same time, he's always had such an amazing attitude that every time he's in the group, he's giving and he's wanting to do his bit for the team, whether that's being on the park or not. And you mentioned a number of these other players as well, and your Henry Nichols, your Darryls, and Henry's obviously been here for a long period of time, and a guy that gets the tough runs, and I think largely, I don't think he thinks about it too much, but it's something that we're always proud of, and he's done it for a long period of time as he comes in situations and takes the game on wholeheartedly in the way that the team needs. And Daryl, we're seeing a lot of signs of that too, where, like you mentioned, guys might be not in the preferred positions, you get disruption, you get injuries or whatever it is that just makes it look a little bit different, but they're very much willing to grab it with both hands and try and make it work. And with such a good attitude, it's a great environment to be a part of, and something we want to keep growing, because it's never something that sits still.
Absolutely, it's really special to watch from afar, but also having been involved in it and to see it grow with all those leaders, as you say, and exceptional players coming through. It really is a special time. And we've got the schedule coming forward. It's a nice time for you to not only reflect, but then look forward to what's to come. There's a test series in England. Is there anything else in the future that you're looking forward to as a player, personally?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to just playing some cricket, to be honest. It's been a little while, and I'm not quite used to getting barked at by the strength and conditioning coach for such a long period of time. Usually it's just you're sort of in between games. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to joining back up with the group. It's an environment that I appreciate being a part of as well. And it's a forever challenge. But, a lot of good people involved, and, players and support staff. And, it's a nice challenge to try and, navigate the things that keep popping up. And, there seems to always be different, competitions, tournaments that lie ahead, and for us, our focus is always kind of trying to improve, trying to see it, move in the direction we think is best fit, and sort of leave the game in a healthier place, and that's always the focus. I'm sure it's, was a part of your psyche and a lot of the players that have gone before in the last 10 years that have, paved the way, and for us, we want to keep, putting our effort into that. talk about it afterwards perhaps, but it's been a really interesting time to reflect and look at some of the things we've achieved, but just knowing full well that it's never fixed, it never sits still. It's reflection's an interesting thing where it's come and it's gone, and the challenges are the things that just come next, and so it's just changing our focus to that.
Oh, it's a nice interview there, Grant.
It's a great interview.
You perhaps really should have worn a jacket and tie interviewing New Zealand captain. I thought you were a bit casual.
I don't know. I know that you guys have been throwing shade on me ever since that started, and you said you could have showed our best batter a bit of respect by wearing a jacket. Yeah. So I thought I'd wear a jacket to this.
Well, not just our best batter. He's the New Zealand captain, mate.
Hey, sports person of the year. He's better than any other sports person in New Zealand last year.
Is that what we're going to do? Are we going to pick holes in that whole interview?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. You should have asked him why he's better than any rugby player in this country right now. It's a sports person. But he talks about leadership. When Brennan, a question for you, because he obviously took over from you as captain, and I'm trying to work out what you particularly brought to the team. And I think it was you gave people confidence. What do you think he took to the team that perhaps you didn't get to, or what did he offer the team as leadership that you weren't offering them?
It's a good question, actually, because it's one of the main reasons why I stepped down when I did, because I felt that the team, I could have only taken the team so far as such, and it needed a level of consistency and probably professionalism, which was not necessarily aligned to my sort of style of leadership. I was a bit more, try and be a little bit more fearless and try and get the guys to be real brave in any kind of situation. I think that had its moments, and we had a lot of success in it, but there was times where it didn't work out as well, and that's the inconsistency with which probably my career was plagued with. Also rolled into my leadership. What Kane was going to bring was an element of consistency, so the performances of the team were going to be able to be driven forward because they were going to be able to do it day in, day out, and that's just the type of personality that Kane is, and it's the type of leader he is, and I think it's been a real mark of his leadership as he's brought that about, not just his leadership and his game, but he's also been able to install that in everyone else within the group.
Grant, you're the type of character who I think, playing for the team, you can see that in Grant. He would have said, team first, me second. Perhaps I wasn't that type of player. Might have been me first, team second from time to time.
Perhaps.
But how you instill that in a side? Because let's face it, cricket is a game of individual performances that make up the team performance.
Yeah, well, I think what Brendan and Kane both brought to the environment was they led from the front through actions. And I always think that, the leaders that you want to follow, they back up their words by going out there and doing it. And I think they both did it in a very different way. Brendan went out there, was very aggressive. Kane is probably more thoughtful in the way that he goes about his work, probably less risk. But he goes out there and he'll never ask someone in the team to do what is not expected of himself. So I think that has created this environment of people not only being able to be themselves, be authentic, but actually go and apply themselves to the role and be responsible for their position out in the team. It's a great environment to be involved in. It was started with Brendan.
Brendan, will you think he'll be hating 5 tests he hasn't played now? Will be hating it, or he'll be sort of quite liking the break to freshen up?
No, he'll definitely be hating it because he loves playing cricket, and this is his team. Let's not forget that. Tom Latham's doing a wonderful job stepping in his absence, but he's still very much the leader of the side. He needs to ensure he's still got a grip over it because he understands where he wants this team to go. This is not the finished product as a cricket team as far as Kane Williamson's concerned. He's happy with where they're at, but he wants them to go further and become even better, which is why he's a wonderful leader.
Yeah, there is a genuine opportunity out there for New Zealand to make history, and Kane Williamson will have to watch it from the sidelines, so he will be hating this, but he'll still want a victory, but they've got plenty of work to do.